April 25th, 1915, 107 years ago, Australian and New Zealand troops landed under fire at Gallipoli. It was then and in the battles which followed that the Anzac tradition was formed. On this day, above all days, we remember all those who served our nation in times of war.
Remember with pride their courage, their compassion, their comradeship. Remember what they accomplished for Australia and indeed for the freedom of mankind. We honour those who died or were disabled in the tragedy of war. They adorn our nation's history.
We remember those who fell amidst the valleys and ridges of Gallipoli, on the terraced hill of Palestine, in France and Belgium, on the sands of the North African desert, amidst the mountains and olive groves of Greece, and Syria, in the skies over Europe, in Singapore, in the jungles of Malaysia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and in the Pacific Islands, in Korea and Vietnam, in later conflicts and in peacekeeping, in the skies and seas in many parts of the world, and on our own soil, and in our sea lands.
Remember those who have suffered as prisoners of war, and those who died in captivity. Remember staunch friends and allies, especially those who fought alongside us at the first day at Gallipoli in 1915. May we and our successors prove worthy to the sacrifice of our servicemen and women.
Welcome to Grace Point Public School's 2022 Anzac Day ceremony. We will begin today's service by recognising that we're meeting on the lands of the Guigal clan of the Darawal-speaking people. We pay our respect to the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, both past, present and emerging. We acknowledge the homelands of all Aboriginal people and pay our respect to country. This year marks the 107th anniversary of the Anzac landings at Gallipoli.
Anzac. These 5 letters stand for the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, and the men who were in the corps came to be known as Anzacs. Anzac Day is a day on which Australians remember all those who have fought and died in all wars, from the New Zealand War in 1863 to conflicts of today, including Afghanistan and Iraq. Each year on the 25th of April, we remember, in particular, the landing at Gallipoli in 1915, and honour the spirit of the original Anzacs. On our Cenotaph Day, we have placed a picture of Alec Campbell, the last surviving Anzac, who was 103 when he passed away 20 years ago. To this year, Alec was 16 years old when he arrived at Anzac Cove, Gallipoli, and in later life, he will describe Anzac Cove as a beautiful little cove. The things that was wrong were the conditions, the lice, the flies, and all those things which made it intolerable.
Alec witnessed much sadness at his time at Gallipoli, as all our Anzac veterans did. He dodged bullets and lost mates. When asked about his time at Gallipoli, he stated, "It's hard to believe. All those young men gone." Alec Campbell was a boy soldier, a war hero rather than a fighter. He was our last human link to Gallipoli and all that place symbolises. At Alec Campbell's state funeral in 2002, our former Governor General Peter Hohenlohe described Alec's passing as an occasion for all Australians to pause and reflect on the passing of the generation that gave us our identity and character as a nation. I will now read
In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, Roland Road, that marks our place, and in the sky, that larks, still bravely singing, fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
The Anzac spirit, with its human qualities of courage, mateship and sacrifice, continues to have meaning and relevance for our sense of national identity. On Anzac Day, the service and sacrifice of veterans is acknowledged in ceremonies held in towns and cities across the nation, and in schools just like ours here at Grace Point Public School. Please stand quietly as we sing Lest We Forget.
Although you're getting on in years and memories seem to disappear, some things will never fade away. Some memories will stay. There's one day in each year you will not forget. If this year's your last year, we will not forget. One more parade, one less digger by your side, 1 year you're marching, the next year you ride. Hold your head up high, hold your head up high, lest we forget, lest we forget. It seems a long, long time ago, a young man far away from home, friends made and lost along the way. Some memories will stay. Those who died, those who live, you will not forget. If this year's your last year, we will not forget. One more parade, one less digger by your side, 1 year you're marching, the next year you ride. Hold your head up high, hold your head up high, lest we forget, lest we forget. The sound of cannon roaring by, the smoke and fire covered sky, the nights of terror as you pray. Some memories will always stay. At the closing of the day, a grateful nation rise to pray. Some things will never fade away. Some memories will stay. Not for 1 day, but always we will not forget. Your memory forever, we will not forget. One more parade, one less digger by your side, 1 year you're marching, the next year you ride. Hold your head up high, hold your head up high, lest we forget, lest we forget.
Thank you, Grace Point Public School. Please be seated.
We would normally hear from a member of the Miranda RSL South Branch at this time. Unfortunately, this year they have been unable to attend. As part of our Anzac Day acknowledgement, we encourage students to write poems about Anzac Day. I would now like to invite each student to read their poem. Our first speaker is Erin Merigliani.
Remembering them, soldiers falling, heroes rising, flying high, risking their lives to protect us. Some shall be gone, but never forgotten. Slowly and slowly the poppy grows to signal the place where our loved ones fall. Out on the field, down in the trenches, always in our hearts, we will never forget them. Family and friends who might have not had a choice go down in boats to save our country, saying goodbye to loved ones, the ones that will never forget them. The bravery, the courage, the tears that will be shed, we will never forget them lest we forget.
Thank you, Erin. We will now hear from Archie McGrath.
Anzac. Soldiers marched onto the battlefield, brave, courageous, strong, fought and protected, sacrificing their lives, working together to save Australia. After war, poppies bloom right amongst the graves. Now a day to remember the men who gave their lives.
Thank you, Archer. We will now be hearing from Marlo Pepperell, but she is unfortunately unable to be at school today. Aidan will read Marlo's poem.
Anzac Day by Marlo Pepperell. Australia and New Zealand fought together side by side on the 25th of April 1915. News comes home of friends that were lost, families waiting for them to come home. The zooming planes fly across battlefields as they drop bombs, crawling through the muddy trenches. Anzac biscuits sent to them. They eat them in cold trenches as they think about their families. Courageous, cold, and lonely, the soldiers were brave. We wear red poppies to remember the day they fought for our country. We will remember them, lest we forget.
We will now hear from Nate Perry Foster.
As they marched bravely to war, friendship and mateship kept them together. Zealous to the end and they never gave up. Fighting in unison to keep us free. Courage and determination inside every soldier. We thank you. We'll never forget what you did. We are forever grateful, lest we forget.
Thank you, Nate. We will now hear from Harry Green.
They fell with the war and rose with the poppies. They did their best to protect their allies and countries, but most paid the cost of their lives. Letters were sent, families received the bad news that they served and fell. Some came back with great stories to tell. We won't forget.
Thank you, Harry.
Flowers have been traditionally laid on graves in memory of the people who have passed away. Rosemary and laurel are associated with Anzac Day. Rosemary is an ancient symbol of remembrance, and laurel is a commemorative symbol that is woven into a wreath. The class SRC members will now lay their wreaths in memory of those who have given their lives for us, and we dedicate ourselves to their ideals. Please remain silent during this time.
Harry will read a part of a poem by Lawrence Binyon called For the Fallen. At the end, it is customary for everyone to join together and say the words, "We will remember them." Following the oath, we will play the last post.
The last post is a trumpet call sounded at 10 p.m. each night, which signals the end of day's activities. It is also played at commemorative services. Following the last post, as a sign of respect and a time for reflection, we will share 1 minute silence. Reveille, or Rus, will signal the end of the minute's silence. It is a bright and cheerful call which is used to wake soldiers from their sleep, ready for duty. It also symbolises an awakening after respect has been paid to the memory of those who have lost their lives. During the minute's silence, please stand still with your arms by your side and your heads bowed. Everyone, please stand quietly.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
Lest we forget. Please remain standing for the national anthem. Please sing proudly. Please be seated. To conclude today's Anzac Day service, Sean Robinson will play You Raise Me Up. Thank you, Sean. That concludes today's Anzac service. Please listen to your teacher's instructions.